Yes, I soon cham bi na yɛn makwaba efamra Pepe Soares channel no so ɛwɔ YouTube. Yɛda wase sɛ abrenya bibia no mo ne yɛn edi dwuma no. Yɛni so hwɛ a mo hwɛ yɛn no. Ɛno nti ɛna bibia yɛtena se a yɛda wase na afei yɛatoto ɛde asrɛ mo. Sɛ wo a ɛnɛ ɛne da edi kan a wo hwɛ yɛn video yi. Wo subscribe to channel no ɛde ama yɛn. Wo ta hwɛ yɛn but unsubscribe yɛn. Unso bo mo de aso be subscribe. Very, very, very important that you subscribe and be a member of the Pepe Soares Media. Once again, and you shoot from Asante Fashion House, Uram El Kumasi City Mall, very close to ShopRite, the newly expanded, refurbished, and reopened Asante Fashion House. O baby beer, Paboy, o mechi, bebiano, o 0244 252240 0244 252240 and no Asante number obefre no na fe what place you order na they open unso wanya straight away yemram. So Asante Kotoko are champions of the FA Cup in Ghana, and this is the 10th timer Kotoko are lifted the FA Cup. The most important thing may not necessarily be the FA Cup Kotoko a winning, but the fact that they have a ticket to play in the CAF Confederations Cup. And the Asante Kotoko chita for no na eda onum akoma suso mbenya that Kotoko will participate in the Confederations Cup. It's Kotoko winning the FA Cup, and just what it is. But the main point is the fact that Asante Kotoko ekobo the CAF Confederations Cup, and so that ticket is sorted as we speak. Kotoko ekobo the FA Cup. Now, the FA Cup glory did not come without the controversies. So, huge controversy, talking point, that penalty a referee, Ejidema Asante Kotoko, when Kwame Opoku went down in the box, now referee, penalty. How Kwame Opoku converted that penalty, of course, the confidence with which he took the decision, said, referee ball was no Jina 10 year was our born. Ebiana Kakipa in your movie. Keep on simple, and that would have also been another talking point. But now I've taken time to watch the videos from different angles. So the first thing I'm talking about is the penalty that the referee gave to Asante Kotoko. On say Mayisu where such as a mini referee. The fact of the matter is that, in my opinion, there was no penalty. In my candid opinion, in my humble opinion, there was no penalty. Reason is Osha baby Kwame Opoku a pick a ball on say he picked the ball, controlled the ball, and he controlled the ball into the path of the goalkeeper. And so baby a goalkeeper Kelvin Saba a diving coin. It was exactly where Kwame a control ball and whatever, and the goalkeeper was going to have no problems saving that ball. The goalkeeper was going to have no problems at all saving that ball, and so the ball came directly into the path of where the goalkeeper had dived, and the goalie was always going to save that particular ball. So referee signaling that as a penalty for me, I think that an incident that I disagree with the referee. And I've taken time to watch the video not once, not twice, not thrice, severally. Mashesa. So there was a touch, but the touch is that Kwame ran into the goalkeeper. Kwame Opoku intentionally ran into the goalkeeper. If he had run into the arms of the goalkeeper, say could Tumrika then we can say the goalkeeper blocked him. But to be fair with you, Kwame, maybe you two American FI, and maybe a penalty, no FI. You better make a so no mumkrana or running into the goalkeeper. So if there could be an incident or the referee could whistle for something, maybe he would have given it to the goalkeeper. But of course, all said and done, it was given. And he converted the penalty with some swag. Mahu this season, Bournemouth, airborne game. Now Bournemouth, enya penalty. I think Ghanaian player Semenyo a tiny deeply cap a ball penalty back. Then they have one player Watara. Onusu Ayabia on the end of 10 year boy and Ubina Kwampuku a yen in them. Referee the ball whistle no, you know, 1 hour 10 in and what touch a ball because the ball a shade into a nice penalty kick. Intelligent on Kwampuku's part. Ebiana keep on happy to keep on ever showing him at the pressure of a torso. Na keep on attract Trisanio Mano. Kwame avoided all of that. So you bet me up Bonabaso. But because I shan't here, say born and sha, and I'll predo. But being able to train with you know what take you sport. I mean those things kababa. But my catcher say that is how football and life Nankasatie. Every situation is analyzed based on the outcome. The outcome of Kwame Opoku's action or the penalty spot and say he scored, and so he Bonabaso. If he had missed, Kebenya Diabeka at the Afam. But Kwame scored. But I've told you that in my candid opinion, there was no penalty. It did not exist. The fact of the matter, and it's in my opinion, the referee got it wrong, and the referee had no business signaling a penalty in that particular situation. At best, referee could have won Kwame Opoku. Say Kwame, there be. Kwame fast so running into goalkeeper. At the 9, I got him goalkeeper no, and the goalkeeper was always going down. Till because I referee Kwame Opoku on a normal day, but referee signaled for a penalty, and same was converted by Kwame Opoku. It is done. Kotoko won the FA Cup. Now, we are champions of the FA Cup. We are CAF Confederations Cup. Let's come to individual player analysis. It will give me a course on individual player analysis. So, Asante Kotoko goalkeeper, I branched the team at the Kamara Mohammed, and at that post. Kamara did well. I will explain to you, but I'll blame Kamara for that free kick. A direct free kick and bless Ege a body to him. It is not because I had direct free kick that me blaming him, but me blaming it because he had a clear sight and yet penalty kicks now maybe will be a blocking view, so you were not in a position to analyze Bona a boss and just a situation again. Kamara a player or wapa, he has height and a jump. Iti ebe dibe nwa se magia tum how ball no ebende here na wentimi untouchable na ebeto net no and so be I think that he missed his positioning, and then when the ball was coming, instead of taking a step back before be diving no when take his step, so he tried jumping from where he was, and that is the reason he did not get a touch to the ball. How much no more share Inter Miami and Nadi Ugly. Very late in the game, Lionel Andres Messi a ball. Na a corner kick no return ball be Pidai. Mohamed El Shanawi had to get a tip to that ball and a ball no kopemba. A ball no untouchable. So goalkeeper was high today. It was a situation you expect the goalkeeper to do better than the Kamara. But right after conceding that goal, the quick reflexes a buy and a branch of Akunya Bobby na Zakaria Mumuni Nyabobi. And the way Zakaria it take key ball na Kamara a dive yet and sa the left hand stop it ball that soon as we watch ball about no detail to so again later an organizational ability at the back a buy. But because he considered that goal, Kamara ever score 6.5. I will give him 6.5. And I remember Kamara. Young cop right back. I branched the team at the and then right back Lord Amoa. Lord had a very good game at the beginning, but Abrante Bako Ekuchan and Kaisel Lord Amoa is only returning from injury. Abrante Bako born in Nino. If you on Lord Amoa in the born ethical kakra, will you blame him? No, you can't blame him because there's a player returning from injury, and player or returning from injury. So such tackles a connoisseur. You expect Abrante will slow down will give me pa. So overall, he had a quiet afternoon. After that, Now I feel the crosses near the be echo wayward. So Lord Amwa, not too good of a performance, 5.5. A branch did the Costa Usu, any Mumuni, and on my side on. Oh, money, you might be pay. Yeah, Dodo, you had too much of a job to do. So Lord will score 5.5. Will give Patrick Asidu again. One of the players he worked his socks out in the game. Patrick worked his socks out. Another difficult outing. It's another pressure no. Anointing. I want to show. Bona the attackers of Golden Kick a boy no. And my branch were nya ne hu twabere kra. In English, you better say one amount to marauding attacks on the left side of Asante Kotoko's defense. And so Patrick Asidu, his defensive qualities came up, and there was no question about that. But his attacking instincts at the piano or the push Asante Kotoko, Emma Kotoko, it me go very far in games, you know. His attacking instincts, and then not ensure the new because he had a lot to do at the back, and so that is the story of a branch editing a day. Patrick Asidu, another 5.5. I will call Patrick Asidu. Henry Ansu started as a center back in the game, and he was playing at the right side of the center back. So RCB, right side of center back. Again, it was not too good for Henry Ansu. Also, Ansu yana a good time you lucky pace in the kakra pace. Ya no lucky. Now, a man they kept playing the long balls that are meant to create space for the attackers. Today, be a long ball too. So that the attackers can run onto the ball to go and pick the ball. That's exactly what Henry Ansu. So Henry suffered also in the game. Henry Ansu scored 5. Game now a course. Asante Kotoko player bakwa, he could have capped his performance with a goal, and that goal would have lifted the ratings in the power. I branched the day Ablo picked a knock quite early in the game, and so some of us were thinking, say, having picked a knock in the game, I could call any vision a boy, not picking knock with ABA won't to us. But Ablo a second half now on my Baniji Nikuto Geno, Ujinamu a boy solid. My catchers are blue do time, yeah. Say, born Ankasa sound, they are modern ball. To do time, yes, watch a chill, pay free ball on one. A block a benesa. And so, some time in a game, you could see that after the now or struggle kakra. But in all those moments, he still kept to his shape. And very late in the game, he could have won the game for Kotoko without even the penalty. There was that incident. The ball was floated in, and a defender made a mess of it when Timan clear. And my ball number 2, Kwampuku chain one who's a blow banana, and no ejemu at my blow. Unfortunately, a blow balloon ball over the bar. If he had scored that particular ball, any winning game, now maybe he could have been the highest rated player of Kotoko. I'll rate Ablo 7. In that game, 7. Game. In the middle, Obaka branch a day in the middle, Yanka Samba Ndongani. And Samba had a torrid time in today's game. He had a time you want to forget. In fact, at the time, on the Andrews in team and airborne 6 and 8, not there. Or Bre Papa. Me mfana say Emmanuel ebe wu no. Emmanuel ebe yi pressure kakra. Edi efri obeyi pressure kakra edi free abloso. But it is not a typical ablo. Sorry, Samba so. Mamin Kabir say I disagree with the decision of coach Karim Zito to continuously use Samba as a midfielder. I disagree with him. Yana Makacho said the beauty of maturity, and say even when you disagree with people, it is not about insults. So I purpose-wise I disagree with the coach. I know very well say Ablono Samba or better as a center back than as a midfielder. I don't know. I think management ought to engage the coach. Say coach, you know, MP Samba as a center back on control. Say coach, you know, on the current midfielders and number 6 for no on catch on man because his continuous use of Samba as a midfielder is not helping to it's not helping the cause of Asante Kotoko. If Kotoko had lost the game, the main point would have been the position of Samba or field of play and more pressure on Kotoko. So apart from Kotoko Dreams FC or Babara, Samba boss number 6 row no XLA any other game be a wabubia or moi. Now one share your coach the Oye na or the Samba Africa na koboza position. Tina Maker says, so when I say number 6 for na Kotoko one. Nani omwa quickly on cancer management. Na management and number 6 for Nibiman. Other than that, it is not too helpful that he keeps using him as an option at the midfield. It doesn't help. Samba ever score 5.5. 5.5. And in second half, Emmanuel Entry be relieving of the pressure kakra. Ntimanu lasted minutes in the game and then went out with injury. Remember, he's coming from an injury. Opoku injury Kotoko vision. And we free 55th minute in that game. And a game we was I think he picked up an injury again in this particular game. Was a Opoku injury a game we as a branch did Intimanu Kotoko Efreman Hili or very integral to the Kotoko game. And so Intimanu Ehilia Ababwa Asante. I want to confirm the time he left the field. Just want to confirm the time he left the field. Now, am so sure of that? Yes, I think very early in the second half, and I branched a prayer, and already did him and went about be replaced. So I was calling him 5 at the time he was on the field. Now, Yanko Babaya was also replaced. Babaya, a book game now. Coach A film at the Samson Eduku Ebai. For the minutes that Baba also lasted on the field of play, I was scoring 5.5. The midfield battle, Kotoko lost it. From the first half to the second half, Kotoko lost the midfield battle. It was difficult for Kotoko to survive in the middle. Our game, MTN FA Cup final, now Kotoko and survive our middle. So I will score on also a rating of 5. Babaya, Ebenya 5. Now let's go to Peter Miduakwa. Peter's speed obviously is always his advantage. How he picks the ball, how he moves the ball, he creates space for himself and creates spaces for others. It is always one advantage to Peter Amidou Akwa. But in the game that was played, I think Amidou Akwa had issues when around the 21st minute or so, a branch could shine or corner line or no baby. And Okon Peke is not going to buy it. No, he's slow game. The reason he was pulled out, because normally he's not too comfortable on penalty, the confidence, and at that time not can't bend penalties into the entire coach the free and he brought in a player or confidence or experience. It's when you are playing Eduku Samson, you obviously know that for Samson Eduku, in those moments he can always pop up and about penalty or the experience to score from the penalty spot. And on the Samson Eduku about Ebe Plesino. I will score him 5 in the game. Osha Abrante did Albert Amwa. The runs of Albert Amwa is always crucial. His ability to dribble, his ability to hold up play, his ability to move the ball into position area. Now, and then surprisingly, chances aren't falling to the foot of Abrante de Albert Amwa. Chances never, and back Albert Amwa side into now I difficult at the amano how to help us in goal scoring. But he was checked very well. What checking him, checking a pa. On the Gripman, Oko Gripman, Uniana, one Isiakai Edema Golden Cake as captain. One no Amasha Hui pa, Chilode, no more Amasha Hui. I'll score Albert 5.5. Kwame Opoku on our score card today has scored the most marks at the Asante Kotoko. Kwame is scoring the most marks for Asante Kotoko. And he's also a man of the match. I don't know the official man of the match, but of course, somebody scoring 2 goals in the final, clearly. And on the side, I had a winning team. I had a goal, and the Marcos could lead. Then, Bless Age Ege, Ebecheka, And a Kwame San share penalty, no. It is scoring 2 and winning. I'm sure he'll be adjudged the man of the match. But he is a man of the match on Kotoko's side because he scored those 2 goals. Again, Kwame won the penalty. Even though we've told you that we disagree, say Sabono any penalty. We disagree strongly. We disagree with the referee. But obviously, referee it was as a penalty referee in a buyer. He won the penalty and converted same. So it was so crucial to Kotoko win. He scored the first goal. He won the penalty, converted the penalty to win the game for Kotoko. Obviously, the ingredients that we hear at the winning match now, Kwame provided all those ingredients for Asante Kotoko. And so, almost a winning game now by 2-1. And he is the man of the match. Kwame Opoku will score him 8. And they give him 8/10. And in the ratings, overall, it will give him. And he is the player of the match. And then the player of Kotoko, on Kotoko's side, the best player. I don't know. Now, my main fact, Coach Abdul Karim Zito. Coach, very poor showing from you. I'm sure you find it difficult to accept it. Pepe, now the magic up was a poor showing. But you can congratulate the entire team. The coach, the players, the management, and Pinkra, Obia, congrats, supporters. The way our supporters could paint the Accra Sports Stadium red. The number of supporters, the Legon Stadium red, yeah, but coach, I am sure that in your closet, you will sit and do the lucky signal that I was lucky in this game. You were extremely lucky. In terms of tactics, your opponent outshined you today. In terms of tactics, your opponent coach outshined you today. Obo from experience. Our team no one who plays our one. Maybe as an opponent coach, you mukota can then coach or I don't know what went wrong with you, but your decision to play Samba as a midfielder will once again come into the discussion. Your decision to play Samba as a midfielder, once again, everybody into the discussion and everybody into the fray. The fact of the matter is, when you experiment, never about somebody in your idea. Who experiment na amfa, blame in your idea. Missing Nessa, none first you will be Samba. The Pakobaka say Pepe. Now when I want to general play and I want to general, it is because you are playing him out of position. You are improvising for him to play as your DM. When in fact, playing as a DM, boy, player naturally saying the strongest attribute. No, it is not. Monsieur Afa once a coach, why wouldn't him? When you do any analysis, be a baby, say play him in that role and once a pen half the amount, and once when you played him as a DM versus Dreams, our Bavaria Sports Stadium, you take that game out, and obviously the rest of the games, it will be any coach and far. Obono, I will vision and far. Kotkone, Mediama, the Bunam said, Abrantene suspended. The game. But 3-4 games had not been a back open alpha and coach the earlier. I'll be changing this idea. The better it will be for all of us. It will save all of us. And it will save the boy. Don't improvise and get somebody to be struggling. You don't improvise and get him to be struggling. Then Yanasa make a minute baby in a baby. But yeah, my culture says we have vowed to always speak the truth. And we'll speak truth to power. The coach in the current make culture will not say bono, maybe I did branch and wow and waiting no. At a point, you know very well that now you're confused on the bench. What to do was difficult for you. You didn't know what to do. But eventually, the experience of the team that you are coaching, the fact that Kotoko, our character in the FA Cup, Kotoko, this is the 10th trophy, no magic, 9. Team no more fine and put. So the experience, the character of Kotoko came to bear. It is what secured the trophy for you. It is what secured the trophy for Kotoko. Not anything tactically that you did. As I did to Coach, and I must score 4.5. It will give a below average performance. But what we need in ABR, you go and hide under the cloak of the win and say, we'll be a winning game. But coach, one can say him. And if this game had traveled to penalties, and pressure on no side, so knowing very well that Division 1 team Golden Cake had won 3 previous penalty shootouts in this competition. Or the penalties, Dambot, or the penalties he had to folk, or the penalties, Kerala. So clearly, the momentum in terms of penalties would have gone to their side. 4.5. Overall, Asante Kotoko did not do too well. But of course, that has not been Kotoko throughout the season. And one good attribute of a club, they say, even on bad days, they win. A bad day, but maybe I will win. If you are quite fast, Argentina, the 2022 FIFA World Cup. On the balance of play, France were better than Argentina. But we in Argentina, and so that's also one character of big clubs and big football teams. Say, even on the day that things are quite difficult for you, utimi etwaso ekwaje. Some guys makacha say People's Rights Media Player of the Season, Asante Player of the Season. Because I'm 5 cup in count. I can't one kabe hard pa. And I did that intentionally. Because after this game, a lot of people I want to samba nya be yi every other nya samba be. Baby roman to Opoku, Asante Opoku about brace. I do much about because Opoku. So we intentionally decided to take this game out of the voting. And the voting ended yesterday. Nyame atoma, we'll collate everything and let you know the winner of People's Rights Media Asante Kotoko Player of the Season. Yaramasi Samuguso Namosheye. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. May the Almighty God be with us all. God bless you.